Level 1, the draft. The year is 1368 AD, and you are 13 years old. Your hands are already rough from washing clothes in the freezing river, and you are always hungry. Life in your poor village is hard, but it is your home. Every night, you sleep on a thin straw mat beside your parents, feeling safe in your small, quiet world. Then a royal carriage arrives. A tall eunuch steps out and tosses a bag of silver to your parents. Your mom and dad look very sad and anxious. They can't even look you in the eye. The villagers whisper as you are pushed into the dark carriage. It is already full of other young girls. Total silence. Everyone is too scared to even cry. Days later, the carriage doors open. You are pushed into a huge stone hall where you are ordered to take off all your clothes. Skin too rough, discard. Shoulders too narrow, discard. Then it is your turn. Older women look at you like livestock. They measure your fingers and your feet. They check your whole body for scars to make sure you are completely pure. After a while, an official looks down at you. Acceptable. Pass. You survive the first test, but your life as a free village girl is over. Level 2, Virtuous Lady. The Emperor has officially given you a title, the Virtuous Lady. A eunuch hands you a folded silk robe. You remember the stories. Your imagination runs wild. You follow the guide through the maze of red walls. Then he opens a door. You step inside and freeze. It's not a palace bedroom. As it turns out, the place you are assigned to live in is a cramped and freezing room with dirty walls. 6 other girls are already inside, shaking in the cold on thin sleeping mats. When dinner arrives, a servant hands you a bowl of cold rice and a few pickled vegetables. You ask for warm water to soften the hard rice. He doesn't answer. He just stares at you coldly and rubs his fingers together, waiting for a bribe. A few days pass. You carefully brush your hair, put a flower behind your ear, and step outside. You hope that the Emperor might walk by. Instead, a high-level consort wearing gold and pearls notices you. You smile at her. She glares at the flower in your hair. She points her finger at you. 2 large eunuchs grab your arms and push you onto the floor. They slap your face. It was then you realize these older women are not your friends. They are jealous of anyone prettier and younger than them. If you stand out, you will be beaten, starved, or worse. Level 3, Selected Attendant. The next morning, a servant bows his head to you and calls you by your new title. You are moved to a much nicer room. You only have to share it with 2 other girls now. You have a thick and warm blanket. You receive 1 silk dress and a slightly bigger bowl of food. But you soon learn that this is a different kind of torture. Every single morning, before the sun even comes up, you must walk to the giant courtyard where the high-level concubines live. You must kneel on the freezing, hard stone. You bow your head to the ground to say good morning to them. You are not allowed to move. Beside you, a sick girl from your room lets out a tiny cough. The courtyard goes dead silent. A senior consort points a gold-tipped finger at her. Instantly, guards drag the crying girl to the center of the courtyard. They force her to the ground and strike her back with a heavy bamboo rod. You keep your face glued to the dirt for hours, terrified to even breathe. When you finally return to your room, your knees are bruised and numb. Because you have a title, you are now a target for jealousy. One of your roommates steals your only silver to bribe a eunuch. The other girl cuts your new silk dress so you look ugly if the Emperor passes by. You want to scream, but you remember the bamboo rod from the courtyard. You swallow your anger, you smile and pretend to be sweet sisters, knowing that to survive, you must learn to backstab them first. Level 4, Lady of Talent. Before the next room inspection, you take your ruined dress and hide it under your roommate's mattress. You whisper a lie to the head eunuch. Your roommate is dragged away screaming, never to be seen again. Since you proved your loyalty, the eunuch rewards you. You are promoted again. You finally get your own small room. You are given better food. Best of all, you are given 2 maids who bow to you. 5 years pass, you are now 18, and you have survived by becoming as ruthless as the rest. But one night, you wake up to a soft noise. You peek through your bed curtains and see your new maid digging through your belongings in the dark. She is reading your private letters. You realize that these maids do not work for you. They are spies sent by the senior consorts to monitor you. So, you pretend you saw nothing. Because you are rising fast, a senior consort invites you to a private tea party. She smiles at you sweetly and slides a small paper packet across the table. It is filled with white powder. She tells you to slip it into the soup of another girl. You are trapped. If you say no, the senior consort will have you killed for disobeying. But if you do it and get caught, the consort will pretend she doesn't know you, and you will be executed for murder. You bow your head, take the packet, and thank her. You remember the spy maid sleeping in your room. Before the sun rises, you hide the white powder under your maid's mattress. Then you run into the courtyard and cry loudly. You tell the guards you caught your maid trying to poison your tea. They search your room, find the powder, and drag the screaming maid away. The senior consort is extremely furious, but she is trapped. She cannot say a word to defend the maid without exposing her own crime. Word spreads that someone tried to kill you. When the emperor hears about it, he feels sorry for his sweet, noble lady. He comes to your room that night to comfort you. As he holds you, you realize you cannot dodge the senior consort's traps forever. Tomorrow, they might send an assassin instead of poison. To survive this, you must get pregnant. Level 5, Imperial Concubine. A few weeks later, the Imperial doctor checks your pulse and falls to his knees to congratulate you. You are pregnant. You are immediately promoted to Imperial Concubine. You finally have your own courtyard, but you can feel a sharp knife at your neck. The senior consorts will do whatever it takes to cause a miscarriage. You cannot eat the luxurious meals the Imperial kitchen sends you. You only eat plain rice cooked by a trusted maid. You cannot walk down the marble stairs outside your room because a eunuch might have secretly put oil on the steps so you slip and fall. You notice the royal doctor's hands trembling as he hands you a bowl of dark medicine. You use the last of your silver to have your most loyal maid follow him. You discover something. The senior consort is threatening the doctor's family outside the palace walls. She is forcing him to slowly poison your unborn child. You do not expose him immediately. Instead, you tell him, the moment your baby dies, the senior consort will kill him and his family anyway to keep her secret hidden. His only chance to survive is to help you destroy her first. You give him two choices: help you expose her, or you will scream and have him executed for treason right now. The plan is in motion. Now, you wait for the biggest event of the year, the Emperor's birthday banquet. The night of the Emperor's birthday banquet arrives. You dip a silver hairpin into your soup. Thanks to a pinch of harmless sulfur secretly added by your maid, the silver instantly turns pitch black. You shatter the bowl and scream. As the Emperor yells for the guards, your blackmailed doctor panics, terrified the senior consort will use him to save herself. The doctor drops to his knees. He publicly begs for mercy, confessing that the senior consort threatened his family to force him to murder your unborn child. The emperor explodes with rage. Despite her screams, the black hairpin and confession are absolute proof. The senior consort is stripped of her rank and dragged away to the freezing cold palace. Safe in the emperor's arms, you close your eyes as the adrenaline fades, your massive gamble paid off. You give birth to a healthy prince months later. Level 6, Consort. An overjoyed emperor promotes you to consort. You are granted a grand palace, a massive army of kneeling servants, and the absolute authority to punish or promote with a single word. But holding your son brings a chilling realization. Giving birth to a royal heir has dragged you into a deadly succession war. Every powerful woman now sees your baby as a threat. Forced to fight for the highest seat, you stop hiding. You immediately use your new wealth to buy the loyalty of top-ranking eunuchs and plant spies to eliminate rising threats. A few years pass. Your son is now a bright and active toddler. The emperor clearly favors him as the future heir, making your child the greatest threat to the current childless noble consort. During a massive royal garden festival, a heavy stone lion statue is pushed from a high terrace, crashing down exactly where your son was standing a second before. You snatch him away just in time. The palace dismisses it as a structural failure, but you know the truth. As a mere consort, you lack the authority to interrogate the terrace guards. So, you become aggressive. You hunt down the workers who dropped the stone and torture them until they surrender their payment. Silver ingots stamped with the noble consort's family seal. You give this physical evidence to the emperor's most trusted military general outside the walls. The general presents the silver at the morning imperial court. To prevent a rebellion, the emperor strips the noble consort of her rank. You step immediately into the power vacuum. You demand the golden seal to protect his heir yourself. The emperor grants it. Level 7. Noble Consort. Crowned as the new noble consort, you instantly replace every guard in the palace with your own loyal men. You control the inner palace, your son is the favored heir, and you have absolute security. You look back at your past. You were once a mere commoner who rose all the way to the position of noble consort. Weeks later, the emperor begins suffering from agonizing migraines and night terrors. The empress quietly asks the high priests to officially cleanse the inner court of evil spirits. You allow the search to happen, knowing you personally replaced all the guards and that your palace is clean. The priests bypass your cabinets and instead rip up the heavy stone floorboards directly beneath your bed. From the dirt, they pull out a rotting wooden puppet pierced with iron needles. The trap is revealed. The empress buried the doll there long before you even moved into the palace. In the ancient court, participating in witchcraft is an unforgivable sin against heaven. Terrified of the people, the emperor betrays you to save his throne. He issues an immediate order without asking for an explanation. You are sentenced to the execution block, and your son is permanently stripped of his title and exiled to the northern borders as a commoner. In the Forbidden City, there is always someone who has been playing the game longer.